power enough to seize or destroy the world.
Take this girl away. Come on, lady.
Captain West, I want to know the connection between this plane crash and Dr. Zorka's death. And unless you tell me...
All right, arrest her.
It must work. As the Phantom, there is nothing that I cannot do.
Struck a plane 8 miles off Devil's Point, heading for the Navy anchorage. Bob, look!
Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Wednesday Night Scream Stream minisodes. I'm your host, Spakenstein, joined as always by my very good friend, Mr. Evan Sink.
Good evening.
How we doing tonight, Evan?
We're back. Ooh.
We're back.
Like ghouls emerging from their tombs.
Yeah.
We're back, ready for more public domain horror
On schedule every second week in is this, would you call this the second week in November?
Is it maybe
the first full week of November? We're we do kind of retreat to our coffins, the week after Halloween, or the day after Halloween. We retreat to our coffins and we slumber for about a week or so, and then we come back. We rise from the tomb. So here we are, rising out of our graves to greet you on this Wednesday night. So I hope everybody's doing well out there. Thanks for joining us this evening. Again, we are here on Wednesday nights, as we always are, for our mini-sode, and we've got some special in store for everybody tonight. And this is, again, just before we go into it too much, I just cannot say thank you enough to everybody that has kind of hopped onto the bandwagon of the show, just
join the party.
Enjoy, yeah.
Welcome
finally
to the stream.
Welcome. It's just within the last 2 weeks we kind of had a nice little surge of new friends coming in, and so we're happy to welcome everybody here. This is we've had some a lot of subscribers, a lot of people watching, like even even past Halloween, you know, even this past week in November, we've had some pretty steady, you know, people coming in. So I appreciate everybody that's, you know, checking us out, seeing what we're about. You know, we're over here. Yeah, we're just watching some public domain horror, having a good time. And, you know, we're 8 seasons in. You would have thought that we would have run out of public domain horror by now. But guess what? We're just getting started.
Not even close.
No, not even. We haven't even scraped the bottom of the barrel yet. We've been like kind of to the middle, like maybe to the lower depths of the barrel just a bit, but we haven't begun to scratch. At this season, we'll kind of start to scrape the barrel a little bit. We gotta start burning some things. You know, the winter months are a little more of the I mean, we're always going. We're always here showing horror movies, horror serials, horror TV, but there's so much. Not everything can be a diamond in the rough. You know, sometimes it's just shit in the rough. And
sometimes you get the kind of burnt edge off the side of the barrel.
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely, you know, kind of a little toxic, you know, maybe not super healthy to ingest. You know, it's kind of way past its expiration date. But
chewy.
Maybe just a little bit, but that's what the beauty of this show is. And again, if you're new to the show, you know, we are a little bit of all your favorite horror style shows combined into one. We're a little Svengoolie, but we're also a little mystery science theater, little riff tracks, because we riff over the things that we watch, which I know doesn't always please the fans of the content that we show here on the show.
Just as a disclaimer,
yeah,
before we go any further,
I mean, I think it's good to, as new people come in, for me to just kind of give these reminders of what we are, what we do here. You know, we are pretty
reminder of the premise of the show.
The premise of this show, it's just some friends hanging out, having an informal time. We're, you know, again, like those horror shows, I like to come in with some facts and some information about the movie. And we like to ask questions and posit things, but we're also making jokes and just, you know, it's all riffing off the top of our heads. None of this is scripted. It's all live. We're just, you know, the beauty of it all and what distinguishes us from those shows is we're over here with the chat and it's interactive, and we got Sweet Feet here in the chat. Nice to see you, Sweet Feet, tuning in from YouTube. Disclaimers are good for the newbies. I agree. Yeah, the beauty of this show is that you guys get to watch it with us and joke with us, or, you know, point something out to us, or maybe tell me something I didn't know. I don't know. I know very little in the grand scheme of things, okay? I'm over here just repeating Wikipedia articles for the most part. But, you know, I like to think that it's you know, the informative part of the show is, you know, I always enjoy doing the research, so I hope you guys enjoy the facts. But, you know, we're cracking jokes, we're drinking some brewskis, we're, you know, you're unwinding after whatever kind of work week you may have had. This is the hump day portion of our program where we get you in the middle of the week, we give you a little thing to tide you over for the main show on Friday, which is kind of our, you know, you want something to really kind of take the edge off, just wait till this Friday when we kick off season 8 with a real whopper of a public domain horror movie. But I'm gonna if you don't know what we're watching yet, I'm gonna save that reveal for the end. You're gonna love it. I'm very excited. But for our mini-sodes this season, if you don't know, we're gonna be bringing back our dear friend, the patron saint of our show, Mr. Bela Lugosi, who is, I mean, we love Bela Lugosi over here. And he is going to be starring in the serial that we'll be watching over the next few weeks, entitled The Whispering Shadow. So it's it's kind of a intriguing title. Right? It's a little weird. I like.
Does this have any relation to the Phantom Creeps?
No, so it's so funny. This is actually the first serial that Bela Lugosi was ever in. This is comes from 1933. Phantom Creeps, which we watched back in season 2 for it was the first serial that we watched on the show. And this is our 4th now that we're gonna be watching this season, but we kicked it off with the Phantom Creeps, which stars Bela Lugosi as a mad scientist, criminal mastermind, with all these dangerous weapons, trying to, just cause all kinds of mischief. And we had a lot of fun with Phantom Creeps, and it was our introduction to serials. And since then we've had Flash Gordon, and we've gone Under the Sea with Lon Chaney Jr. and so it's good to get back to Bela and back on Earth firmly, not in space and not under the sea. Well, I guess under the sea is technically Earth. It's not going to another planet or anything. But it's basically like being in a whole nother planet. And so now we're firmly back on Earth.
A submarine is basically a spaceship,
right? I mean, it was the exact same thing as Flash Gordon zipper around, chasing Ming and all that good stuff. I mean, although the big thing with Undersea Kingdom was horses, obviously, as we learned. And Undersea Kingdom, that was the last serial that we watched. That was from 1936. So what we're going to start watching on Wednesday nights this season is 3 years before that. And this serial kind of set some precedents. Sci-fi serials, mystery serials weren't really a big thing at the time. It was really right around here that it started to become kind of a popular thing, which paved the way for Flash Gordon and Undersea Kingdom in like 1935, 36. But what we're going to see with this is some sci-fi elements, but it's primarily a mystery, which we haven't gotten. Every serial that we've watched so far has been sci-fi, and there's no mystery about who the bad guy is. The bad guy is always incredibly obvious. You can always tell by whoever's wearing the most extravagant costume just who the bad guy is. We figured that out.
Can I make a prediction?
Yes.
The bad guy's Bela Lugosi.
Now, Evan, I
am I on?
You might.
Sorry, did I ruin the whole thing?
Well, we'll see. Now, I will. That's the thing. I'm like, I said it earlier, starring Bela Lugosi, but I'm hesitant to say starring Bela Lugosi because this is a mystery serial. They got to spend equal time kind of presenting different suspects and giving you different kernels of suspicion for each one. So it's not like Phantom Creeps where Bela Lugosi's running around with this invisibility belt and this scary looking robot terrorizing, people in a 100-yard triangle. This is more like weird stuff is happening and people are trying to get to the bottom of it. And apparently because I wanted to see how this was. I was, up till yesterday, was still trying to decide what we were going to be watching for our minisodes, what serial we were going to watch. So I read some reviews for this. Apparently, they do a good job concealing the identity of the Whispering Shadow, who is our titular villain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll pretend we don't know.
We'll
pretend we don't know.
It couldn't be the guy.
He'll be innocent until proven shadow.
Right. Yes, exactly. Well, we'll see if the profile fits. And this is 2 years after Dracula, a year after White Zombie, which we watched back in season 1. So this is where we're getting to see kind of prime time Lugosi, kind of top of his form Lugosi. So it's always good when we get that, we'll see a lot of middle career Lugosi, and sometimes we'll see some late stage Lugosi. But we're definitely in for a treat here because we get to see him kind of in his youth, and they're taking full advantage of his creepiness. And so yeah, I think we're in store for a nice little treat. I mean, again, it is a serial with all the hallmarks of a a serial, the cliffhangers that are probably hit and miss, and a lot of going back and forth, and a lot of fight scenes and chase
But it's
scenes.
okay. He's younger in this one, so he can get around back and forth a bit
He'll
easier.
be a little more spry, I believe. We'll see.
More vital.
More vital. I hope so. I'm sure he will be. I mean, again, although I'll say there some reviews were like, the reviews were all over the place with kind of taking stock of Lugosi's performance. Some of them are like, worst performance of his career, and others are like, he's pretty good. And so,
Okay.
I mean, it's
okay. So
one I read was like,
as much as anything, I think that intrigues me.
Right.
Now we get to be the judge.
We can figure
be the
it out.
arbiters of his performance.
Right. One person said, I don't even think he knew what a serial was. I don't even think he knew what he was getting himself into. He had no clue how long it was gonna be.
This is a really long movie.
Well, it's so funny. We'll be getting into kind of there's a little bit of production information about this. With some pretty there's some pretty interesting surprises in terms of some production details with this. So that'll be fun to talk about. But it's definitely, it's kind of Bela in his prime, so it'll be fun to watch. And for better for worse, I will say, I'll go ahead and tell you now, it's not gonna matter for a couple chapters, but apparently this serial does get to the point where they start they start doing clip shows. Like,
oh no,
yeah, so like apparently so apparently 4 of these 12 chapters are just clip shows. So like
Great.
every there's like, so there's 4 of them, and a lot of serials would just have 1, but this one, yeah, I guess they really just kind of ran out of time and money, so they had to recycle a lot. But I also, again, another review pointed out, it's actually not a bad thing if you've got ADD or you don't really follow very well. So I think for the purposes of our show, where we tend to kind of like forget what happened the week before,
yeah, we lose the plot.
We do lose the plot, so it may not be such a bad thing. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. That we got to get into the first chapter. But I just wanted to go ahead and lay that out on the table now, just so we were aware. I didn't want it to be like some surprise that I sprung on everybody.
Yeah. So we should come out of this one knowing exactly what happened.
I think so. We should be pretty clear on the details here. If we're getting a rehash four times, we should know. Notwithstanding the fact that every chapter usually starts with a recap anyway. But that's neither here or there. But you gotta love it.
A lot of mileage out of a little bit of material this season.
I mean, we do enjoy these serials. I mean, that is kind of the beauty of them, is that they are cheap and they're fun. They really are. We have enjoyed the ones that we watched so far, and this one, the first 2 that we watched were produced by Universal. The third one was produced by Republic. This one comes from a company that we haven't seen anything from yet, a small Poverty Row company called Mascot. And they basically just exclusively produced serials. So this was a big one for them because Bela Lugosi was a big name, but that's the only name you're going to recognize. The other people were in some horror things, but we'll touch on that in later episodes. Because we got 12 chapters of this to take in, so we'll start easy. We'll get more information. Anything before we get into it tonight, Evan?
Just remember, if the cape doesn't fit, you must acquit.
be our mission statement for the season. On that note, we're gonna go ahead and get into. Well, hold on. Let me get over here. And Evan, if you have it queued up.
I do.
All right, and we're gonna go ahead and get into the exciting first chapter of the Whispering Shadow, which I didn't mention is entitled Master Magician. Right now. I was like, please God, don't let me get an ad. I'm already digging the music. Hey, that's a good number of writers. You gotta hope there's at least it's not, just recycling every serial trope.
Professor Strang?
Yep. It's I don't know. Yeah, definitely not a villain name. Whoa.
How Strang?
Empire Transport and Storage Company of Berlin. Calling Empire Transport.
Whoa, look at them radio waves go.
Company of Los Angeles, California.
Why don't we say it like that anymore, man? Los Angeles, California. I mean, even the way you said California. Let's get back to old-timey pronunciation.
With the visible waves like that.
I know. Why did we give that up? That was so aesthetically pleasing.
How else do you know if it's on?
Like Bluetooth.
Yeah. Like, yeah, you can see Bluetooth all the time.
Is that thing going on my truck? Yep. Then you can get another driver. I'm through. Say, what's the matter with you, Mert? We've had 4 of our trucks wrecked in the past month, haven't we? And every one carried one of them hoodoo statues. Well, this is a fine time to lose your nerve. I can't help it. And I've got a strong hunch the Whispering Shadow is going to strike again. I'll take the truck out, Jack.
I'm up for a challenge.
I'm not afraid. Makes a lot of difference when it's your kid brother, don't it, boss? Well, thanks, Jack.
Wow, man.
Oh, wait a minute, bud.
The hell?
Just want to make sure your radio phone was working okay. The radios were working.
Radio phone?
But that didn't help the driver.
Radio
any.
phone.
You got car phones?
Will you?
Yeah, man, we're only a few minutes into this. There's already so much high tech going on, man.
If anything happens to that kid, Jack, remember, I tried to warn you.
Is that just a CB radio? What does that mean?
I guess. Could this be our comic relief? Will it? I'm just looking at his mannerisms. I'm already getting a tingling sensation. Yep.
The way his tie and his hair just ever so slightly disheveled.
Hello, Sparks. Get my kid, bro. Gotta pick up a shipment of Clearwater. I can't call him right now. There's something wrong with the radio.
What?
Who are you talking to? Mr. Foster. He wanted to... Ah, here you go again. Laughing everything that happens in this department. Here, I'll fix it. You clean up this mess.
Oh, dang. Yeah, let me just stick a screwdriver right in it, just jiggle it around
What's
in
the
here.
trouble, Steinbeck? What's the matter with the radio? How soon are you going to have it fixed? I don't know. My equipment is all right. There seems to be some outside force interfering. Outside force? same thing happens every time there's an attack on one of our trucks. That means the Whispering Shadow's going to strike again. And my brother is on that truck.
My brother.
he said, looking right at the camera.
My brother.
My brother is on that truck. What are we gonna do?
Whoa. Oh, damn.
Uh-oh. Is that the Phantom?
That's a hell of a stunt.
The Phantom also a sick motorcycle?
Steve McQueen's zipping around over here.
Yeah, they're about to get robbed by Steve McQueen.
Holy shit. That's some speed right there. Oh, damn. Look at him. Oh. I think they're on Mulholland Drive. Just kind of wild to look at it, like all dirt. God, that would make me so sick, dude. I'd be so car sick. I'd be vomiting everywhere.
Pull up there. Don't shoot it, Jack.
Oh, Jack.
Gee, Jack.
We're about to blow your head off, Jack.
What's wrong? Nothing, I hope. And we're playing safe. Change the route the next turn off. What's that?
Uh-oh. Whoa.
Whoa.
Whispering Shadow.
The Whispering Shadow. Uh-oh.
It's a trap. Get going.
God, I love these old-timey cars.
Cannot escape. Step on it, bud.
Will you tell me when we get about, like, halfway?
Okay.
Trying to get away.
Come on, bud. You bet.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit.
Punch it and I'll blast while I'm lying up here on the roof.
God.
We gotta stop him.
Man, so much action in the first, like, 10 minutes of this. Just another day at the office in Hollywood back then, man. Oh. Oh.
I mean, this is, oh, he had a heart attack. The stress of the job finally got to him.
Brother.
Grab the truck before she goes off the road.
My brother was in that truck.
Oh.
Well.
Just falling and tumbling and twisting and turning. It's the cops. The God, the thing had like no pickup. Trying to speed away, like, and you're like not moving.
Yeah, although to be fair, the cops are also driving that.
Who are
so.
you? I'm Jack Ford. He's one of the Whispering Shadows men. He attacked another of our trucks and killed my brother.
Killed my brother. The vase. All right, it was all for nothing, I guess. What is a shadow about to appear in that chair? Or? Whoa. creepy.
You caused to fear my anger. You cowards. Through your failure, Kruger is in the hands of the police. You know who the Whispering Shadow is? Tell us. Who is he? I don't know, I tell you. I never saw him. None of us knows who he is.
He's a shadow, don't you see?
You know who he is, all right.
I mean, don't you not see?
Come on, quit stalling. Speak up. Kruger is weakening.
It's just all
Watch his
Abbott Costello bit.
and reward. I told you the truth before. None of us has ever seen him. None of us knows who he is. You're headed for the chair, Kruger. Lying won't save you.
I guess that's what it's like to work for every corporation in America, right? I don't know who I work for. I've never seen him.
I've never seen my boss.
You and me both, buddy.
Kruger talked too much
Holy shit, he killed him?
and
Wow.
drawn out.
This guy's a little too
The chief's coming
pleased.
up, and Robert Raymond's widow. You mean the famous criminologist? Yeah, passing through town and dropped off to see the chief.
The chief? Nobody sees the chief. Not nobody, not know how.
He's also invisible.
How did this happen? Well, we were quizzing this bird, and all of a sudden he got dead. It was no shot from
We
the
were
outside,
quizzing this
not a
bird.
foul.
I'm gonna start using that.
Certainly, Raymond. Glad to have your opinion. Look. Strange. Thing's still hot. It looks like one of the electrodes that they use in the death house. That's exactly what it is. Your man was electrocuted.
What?
Electrocuted? Impossible. Well, where are the wires? The diabolical genius that conceived this had no need of wires. That man was killed by a radio death ray.
Holy shit.
Wow.
That'd be like somebody doing that with
Okay.
your cell phone nowadays. Using your cell phone as like a death ray to like shock you to death. Be nuts, dude.
There's an app for that.
You say your radio has been put out of commission every time one of these attacks occurs. How does your operator explain that, Mr. Bradley?
Mr. Steinbeck is in charge of the radio room. I'll let him answer your question.
There's some strange influence cutting across our terminals that prevents us from broadcasting.
Well, I beg to differ with you. I was in the radio business before I became vice president of this company. And I believe this so-called outside influence is an inside job.
What do you mean?
Every old white man, every old white
Possibly Mr.
executive.
Jerome is right.
I've been in this business for 4 years, and I think I know exactly what the problem is.
Well, yes. As I told you, I know something about radio, and I have tested the equipment now and then.
Has it ever occurred to you, Mr. Bradley, that the attack of the
This
Whispering
guy.
Shadow began about the time Mr.
Snidely
Jerome
Whiplash
bought into
over
this
here.
company?
Mr. Bradley?
The
I'll not
Whispering
remain here to be
Shadow.
insulted by a subordinate whom I have reason to suspect. If you've anything to say to me, I'll be in my office.
Is there anything else, Mr. Bradley?
I don't think we need to detain Mr. Steinbeck any longer. Can you think of any reason why these attacks should be directed against your company, Mr. Bradley?
None.
No competitor who would like to see you driven out of business?
We are unique in the field.
Your losses must be considerable.
It's not our losses that worry me. It's fear for our employees.
Wow. Good boss. You can tell this definitely is a movie. No boss cares that much about his company.
Getting so I dread to hear the sound of a truck pulling out. I know its driver may never come back.
If I only had some clue, however slight, to start unraveling.
There's one strange thing in connection with the attacks. Every truck that's been wrecked was carrying a waxwork from Strang's House of Mystery.
Strang?
Ooh.
You don't mean Professor Anton Strang, the magician?
Why, yes. Do you know him?
Only by reputation, and that's bad enough. Contrives some means of paying him a visit.
But that's easily arranged, and he'll never suspect
We're
you.
getting close to halfway.
Okay. We'll go and take it right there. So I'm at 1504. And that was the exciting beginning of Master Magician. What are we thinking so far, Evan?
I'm liking this so far. I like their like sci-fi that involves radio, which I guess was, you know, probably
Cutting, yeah,
imaginative. Yeah, it was cutting edge stuff back then. So.
Absolutely, state of the art, man. My goodness.
The idea that you could like kill somebody from far away with a radio.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's still, you know, it honestly doesn't seem that far fetched, but you know, it obviously, as far as we know, hasn't happened.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could, if you could get your employees to wear some kind of death electrode, it's plausible. It's plausible.
Definitely.
This organization is wild, though. Like, well, welcome to my criminal enterprise. Here's your uniform, the break rooms over here, and here's your death electrode. Make sure you wear this at all times.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I meant this is your employee badge. Make sure you wear that at all times.
Yeah, it's kind of like Halloween 3, honestly. You just got all these, like, you know, kind of like robots who you can, like, program to self-destruct at any point, essentially. Like, no, yeah, it is weird. These guys are kind of, like, actually seem to be voluntarily part of this organization, voluntarily putting these devices on them that could...
Yeah, the guy, he was kind of ride or die. He was in he's, you know, in the custody of the police. He could have said... Yeah, I don't know who my boss is. Also, can you take this electrode off before he kills me?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe he just didn't even know it was there. Maybe
that Whispering Shadow, he's sneaky.
He's really sneaky,
right on you.
Yeah, I mean, he's just, you know, appear out of nowhere. Yeah, but it's, I mean, a very action packed first half. I mean,
yeah. You know, usually the other serials we've watched, they tend to start pretty strong.
Right.
And then maybe trail a bit after a couple of episodes.
Right.
So we'll maybe see if that's the case here, but they do have a good opening.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you make a very good point that, yeah, I would say the setup for most serials is always like pretty engaging, like intriguing. Like there's always urgency, right? Like this terrible thing is this villain is doing this horrible thing. Somebody's got to stop him. And, you know, then here comes our hero out of the woodwork. Although I guess with Undersea Kingdom, it was just kind of like, they just kind of, well, there were the explosions, so they didn't know what they were. So they kind of stumbled upon the whole Atlantis war. It wasn't like they were like, all right, we're going to go down to Atlantis and clean things up. It's time for us earth dwellers us land dwellers to handle things down in Atlantis. We saw how that went. Crash Corrigan, make him head of the army. Not going to go well because he's a Navy guy. But we all saw that disaster come from a mile away. Yeah, so it's kind of common for these serials to get off to a rip roaring start and kind of stall out.
I like that we've got our comic relief guy. There's always one.
Yeah,
gotta have him.
Poor dopey radio operator who doesn't seem to I guess you can't hold him responsible for these their radio being co-opted to commit murder, but buddy, you're the technician.
Do you think he got that job like by nepotism? Like they couldn't find a better radio operator than
It's just the dopey guy with the funny tie and the Yeah, I think they were kind of all out of options at that point.
The boss just keeps him around because he makes him laugh.
Right. Well, isn't that, one of the tenets of capitalism? You always want to surround yourself with people that make you laugh, entertain you. That's what it's all about. And yeah, so it's funny, this serial. I mean, if you go look at the posters or anything for it, I mean, even the title credits, I'm pretty sure it said starring Bela Lugosi. But you see, we're in the first half of the first chapter, and we haven't even met. Look, obviously, the stage has been set. We're about to meet him halfway
really
through, but
made an appearance.
no, he hasn't. Where I think in Phantom Creeps, he's like the second shot. Like he's like, one of the first things that you see. So, it's nice to, give him a little build up anticipation. Let's give him a star entrance, but like the man deserves. Again, at this time, he really was still considered a big star. And it's funny, this role that he played in this serial, earned him the highest salary of his career at any point in his career. Can you believe that? $10,000. That was
okay.
That was I mean, he was kind of notorious for getting lowballed by the studios. But I think this, of all things that he would get paid a decent wage for, it would be a serial. From what was basically a Poverty Row company. So it's kind of funny that this is kind of as good as it got for Lugosi in terms of.
Yeah, you said this was right on the heels of Dracula, though, right?
Yeah, 2 years after Dracula, a year after White Zombie.
So yeah, maybe they thought yo, this is Lugosi guy. He's gonna be huge forever. We're getting him for a steal at $10,000.
10,000. This is you understand? He's gonna be worth double that in a few years. You don't even. And of course, there's like a famous story that like for Son of Frankenstein, which was like 6 years after this, that the studio only wanted to pay him like $1,000 a week for 1 week of work, and the director like expanded his part and kept finding ways to like make it bigger so he could like stay on. And like he gives an amazing like tour de force performance as Igor in Son of Frankenstein, but it was originally supposed to be a smaller part because Universal was doing what they did to Lugosi and not wanting to pay him shit. And so that's how you have these brilliant roles that he did where he got paid peanuts, and then you get something like this where we're maybe going to get him half the time, and he's just going to be kind of, I want to say set dressing, but I mean, we'll see just how. I mean, so far they're setting it up like, pretty suspicious that all these shipments are being interrupted and they're supposed to go to his place. What does it mean?
What does it mean?
Well, we're about to
meaning of radio.
Yeah, dude, so complicated, man. That's when don't worry. By episode 9, when we're on our third clip show, I'll give a whole presentation about how radio works. I'll come prepared for that one. Don't worry. No. But like I said earlier, this was the first serial that Lugosi did. He ended up doing 5 total. In our pre-roll coming into tonight's episode, we saw the trailer for the other one that we watched, The Phantom Creeps. So for this break, we're gonna see the trailer for another serial that Lugosi did. I think between this and The Phantom Creeps, entitled wait, is this? Yeah, between those two, entitled The Return of Shandu. And he plays pretty sure he plays like a good guy. He plays like a hero. Like he's the hero of the serial. So it's kind of a change of pace for Lugosi.
Yeah.
You know, we don't see hero Lugosi very often. At least not on this show. You
Yeah, I
want
don't
to
think we've ever seen Hiro Lugosi on this show.
no, you want to see a great hero Lugosi from around the same time period. If you haven't seen The Black Cat, go see that. I mean, he's a tragic hero. He's not, you know, he's not like the leading man type of hero. It's very kind of he's a very tortured, haunted soul who is, you know, just happens to kind of, you know, his quest for vengeance just happens to be, you know, also kind of, you know, paved with good intentions and trying to make sure that innocent people don't get harmed in his quest for vengeance. So there's a little bit more a little bit more like heroics to that Lugosi's character in that film. But so we'll see this trailer for the return of Shandu, and then when we come back, we're gonna get into the exciting conclusion of, is it Master Magician? Magician Master Magician?
Yeah, it's Master Magician.
So we get into the exciting conclusion of Master Magician after the break. So stick around. We'll be right back.
I feel danger. Come quickly.
And now a toast from Her Highness.
My friends, I want to tell you all how glad I am to be here in America among you. And in return, I offer health and happiness to you.
The sacrifice must be an Egyptian princess of royal blood. Naji is the only living Egyptian princess, and the Ubasti will stop at nothing.
My powers are stronger than Princess Naji here for the sacrifice. Naji! Thou wilt die, and thy soul shall pass into the body of the priestess Hosanna, and Upasti shall rule again throughout the world.
We have to be very careful. This place is surrounded by savages.
Chandler! Chandler! We must swing across. It is the only way out. First, if anything happens to me, it is of no importance. All are now prisoners of the savages. What of Chandu? Chandu is in the endless passage, from which none escape, deprived of his magic power. No magician is without power so long as he lives.
And we are back. So that was the trailer for The Return of Shandu. And as you can see, a little bit more of a kind of adventure action piece, you know, with some magic and mysticism and tropical locales.
Temples.
Yeah, we're definitely not getting that in this serial. As you can tell, we're running all over LA, it looks like. I mean, just in the the opening sequence. I mean,
but we are going to the Wax Museum.
yeah, so isn't it funny, of course, like what's more sinister character for Lugosi to play than the proprietor of a wax museum? How deliciously macabre. No, it's I don't know why that was like so, of course the owner of a wax museum's got to be a creep. I don't know why that was such a trope in the 30s. Like most of the 20th century. Now you got Madame Tussauds. You gonna call Madame Tussauds a creep? No. Of course you're not. Creep. So, but
how do you get into the Wax Museum game?
That's a really
I like to pretend to hang out with celebrities.
Well, as you see, Lugosi's character's name is Professor Strang. So obviously you got to go to school for it. There's a whole degree you got to get. Bachelor's of Waxworks, something like that. I don't know. Maybe Masters of Waxworks.
He's a professor. Yeah, he's probably got his master's.
Yeah,
he might even be a PhD.
Doctor
Waxology.
Well,
he's
there
waxing
you go.
Poetic over here.
I mean, well, Lugosi he always does. We'll see what kind of lines Lugosi gets here. He's I mean, I will say I'm struck in this by all of the like old school pronunciations and like the way that they're exaggerating the pronunciation. Every time somebody says the whispering shadow, like they say it like that. And it's like, what do you think you are, a radio announcer? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, some of these line deliveries do sound very like radio play.
Yeah. Again, that one guy,
my brother.
Yeah. My brother's dead. You killed. I hope that's like the whole thing. Like
it's just so dramatic.
Yeah. I even mentioned that guy Steinbeck, who definitely like Snidely Whiplash is the only thing I could think of by that. Like just the mannerisms and the mustache and the way he's talking. It's like, all right, guy, you need to calm down a little bit. A little too over the top. No, it's
you know what he reminds me of?
Who? Or what?
Michael Palin's character from Mr. Hilter.
Yeah, the what
it's
is
like
it?
The mustache twirling
that's
villain
right.
kind of guy.
Yeah, I wish I remember what they called him. Yeah, I could see that for sure. Definitely, just like gleefully trying to like not even trying to hide how like unabashedly evil they are.
Just loving it.
Yeah, obviously relishing being the bad guy. So, or maybe a bad guy, maybe not. Again, it's a mystery.
Who knows? It's a mystery.
So that's the thing that I'm gonna task you with keeping track of, Evan, over the 12 chapters is kind of your list of suspects of just who, or maybe just who you think the prime suspect is week in, week out on the Whispering Shadow, because it may change. Things may get a little information here, a little information there, and who knows? So, you did a really good job of last season keeping track of how heinous each crime was in each episode of 13 Demon Street. So I want to see if you can keep us set right for the 12 chapters.
I'll keep notes, but between my notes and these clip shows, hopefully
we should be able to
crack the mystery.
I think we'll be all right. I mean, again, I was surprised the number of reviews I read that they were like, I thought I knew who it was and I was wrong. And so I'm like, oh, okay, like, all right. They're like, at some point, everyone's a suspect. And I'm like, all right, like, all right, let's see how that plays. Could be good, could be bad, but see. No, I mean, so far I'm having fun with it. So we'll get into Lugosi's Wax Museum and we'll see just what he's Here's what he's boiling up for us. Anything before we get into the second half of Master Magician, Evan?
Do you think Stan Lee got an idea from this? Dr. Strang, the Master Magician?
What? Doctor Strange?
Yeah, that's
maybe, could have been inspired. I mean, he was definitely a fan of all this kind of stuff.
He was a wax guy, right?
He was big time wax guy.
He lived in a wax museum.
I mean, how do you think they kept him acting in the movie so long? It was really he was just mostly made of wax by the end. People don't know that.
I've got a wax double.
Disney doesn't want you to know. But it's true.
Yeah, that's why you get into the wax museum game. It's so you can lease out people's doubles so they don't have to work so hard on set.
Well, now that this is a little known fact. This is actually the key issue at the heart of the actor strike right now. Is that they actually, instead of AI, they would prefer that their wax doubles be used, and so it's just, they can't meet in the middle on it. There's just no middle ground there. I mean,
yeah, they're having trouble negotiating a fair salary for the wax doubles.
Right.
They keep offering them figures, but all they get is the silent treatment.
Well, right. Well, that, and I mean, they keep asking for residuals, and the studio's just saying no. You don't. You're wax. You don't deserve them, and it's just they're never gonna come to an agreement on this.
Wax people are people too.
That's right. Well, let's shall we wax on to the exciting conclusion of Master Magicians, Evan?
Let's wax off.
Right. Well, if you've got it queued up.
I do.
We're going to get into the exciting conclusion of Master Magician right now.
Take your hat, sir.
Whoa. What?
Whoa. Is this guy made of wax?
Oh, my thing, is buffering.
No, thanks. Where's Professor Stein?
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm at 1520.
Okay, let me back up. All right. I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Hat, sir.
Is this a...
Take your hat, sir.
They're lifelike.
They are like robots.
Oh, so it is just a wax person.
I get, yeah. Oh, definitely.
This is an animatronic museum.
Oh, look at Lugosi leering, as usual. Whoa.
We better watch our step around here.
You get whacked in the head by a wax dummy.
This is the most lifelike one of all. The professor sure knows his girlish figures. Oh, I beg your pardon, miss.
You wish to see my father.
I take care of it.
Wow, you fool.
Professor Strang, we're from the Empire Transport Company. I'm Jack Foster, and this is Mr. Stevens, our insurance adjuster.
Yes? Your last shipment was badly damaged in a wreck, Professor. We'd like to settle with you.
I have a similar figure at the storeroom. If you'll come with me, we can discuss the damages.
Thank you.
I'll stay here while you two talk business.
By all means. This way, Mr. Stevens.
Let's watch for these wax statues, see if they blink or not.
Excuse me a minute.
Oh, he's pissed.
Messed up now. I think that's a goof. You can see Bela Lugosi. You can see him in the mirror. I don't think you're supposed to be able to see him.
Ooh, creepy.
Father! I had to do it. It was this savage that struck him down. Understand?
Wow. Ah! I think it's terrifying.
Was this the insurance adjuster?
Yep. No. What, the guy on the floor?
Yeah, the representative from Geico here with the club.
Oh, yeah, duh, of course.
These little playmates of yours get kind of rough, Professor. My dear Mr. Foster.
This is one of the
I
ones
can't
from the
tell you how
sitcom,
sorry I am.
not the Geico
I
commercial.
hope you're not badly hurt.
What's happened to you? Rather a nasty wound in there. Better take you to a doctor right away.
Oh, I'm all right. It's only a little bruise.
It's only a little
You
concussion.
can't afford to take any chances.
Let me call a taxi.
We've a car outside.
And call you an Uber.
The company will mail you a check for the damages to your waxwork.
He's just smiling like an idiot the whole time.
Hey, what's the idea? I was just on the point of finding out something.
You wouldn't have found out a thing. It was
The
Stein who
idea.
struck you down. Lucky he didn't kill you.
Then we're on the right track.
I wish you hadn't done it, Father. I'm afraid that assurance adjuster suspects you.
I know he does. Look at this. Doesn't know I took it out of his pocket. Mr. Robert Raymond, the world-famous detective.
Man, what I wouldn't pay for Lugosi to like leave my voicemail like machine for me or something, like and read it like that.
Do you suppose this whispering shadow is wise to our secret?
What's the difference if the shadow or this wise dick does find the stuff? Either way, you and me are rotting in jail for nothing.
Maybe they won't find it. We hit it pretty smart.
I ain't taking any chances. We've got to get out of here.
Why, you're crazy. Them
How come these guys aren't saying
never
C
miss.
after every other
We
word?
risked our necks to
We're
get
late for our
this stuff,
shift at the
didn't we?
railroad.
Well, I'll risk mine again to keep it.
Not me.
Oh shit. Whoa! Holy
Oh,
shit!
my God.
My goodness. Jasper Slade, notorious jewel thief.
A daring and sensational jailbreak.
Man, they don't write
The news-
papers like they used to, man. I swear. They
just sounds like a compliment.
yeah, they used to eat it up, man. They loved
Bring it in,
that
boys.
shit.
Be careful with it. Hello, Professor. We have no further use for this after settling with you, so thought you'd like to have it.
Put it down right there. Thank you very much.
Don't mention it. I'm glad to have been of service to you. Good afternoon, Miss Strand.
How do you do? Father, look at this.
There's only one reason why he would take such a risk. I must take equally desperate action.
What are you going to do?
I'll strike at the warehouse tonight.
But, Father, think of the terrible risk. Oh, you must be careful.
Nonsense. It's any risk too great. The price is the world's richest collection of jewels.
Father, please listen to me.
Oh, jewels. Of course it's about jewels. So they did like a treasured horse kind of a thing.
Trojan
At
wax.
the warehouse tonight.
We'll be waiting for it, and we'll capture the Whispering Shadow.
You all understand my order.
We understand.
Remember, they will be on the lookout for us. The place will be well guarded. Nothing must go amiss. I will be there.
We gotta whisper too. We're part of the whispering gang. We gotta make sure we're whispering. I mean our quota. That's not a whispering shadow, that's just a normal shadow.
Stop where you are.
Well, what's the meaning of this?
That's all right, Bill. Let him pass. Sorry, Mr. Jerome, but the place is being guarded. We weren't expecting you tonight.
Do I have to get special permission to enter my own office? I've got work to do tonight.
It's him, he's the whispering shadow. Calling it.
Does he usually come here at night?
I've never known him to before.
Oh, is that Lugosi in disguise? Oh, yeah, look at him. The master of disguise. He doesn't need a beard in this one. He just needs one of those caps. I don't know what you call those. What? Is that the jewel thief?
Check in at Portland for transshipment. Okay, 34, that is all. Calling truck 42. Calling truck 42. Hey, boss! He's gone dead again.
Uh-oh.
I thought I told you not to interrupt me.
What is that same interference? The Whispering Shadow. Shall I call Mr. Raymond?
No use alarming anybody until we are sure.
Sounds to me like trouble with the aerial. Get up on the roof and take a look at it.
Get up on the roof and take a look at it. Man, this guy's just got so many job responsibilities, huh?
And don't go locking yourself out on the roof again.
Yeah, he looks like the kind of guy that would do that more than once. Been there, buddy. Been there.
This is relatable, but are they going to do a whole bit?
Bam. Bit after bit after bit. I would be mortified, dude. Can't do heights.
It's only a model.
Shh. Oh my god. Pretty cool looking model though. Uh-oh.
Pretty cool looking. Was that a planecopter?
I wasn't really comfortable with watching that plane. Oh, okay, it's just landing near those two towers. Okay, thank God.
Everything's working as planned. The door's open.
I'm being watched.
Give me that package. Keep away from me or I shoot.
You ain't afraid of bullets?
Oh, Mr. Raymond! Mr. Raymond! We just found the watchman tied up in the basement. Whispering shadows. Sound the alarm. To the roof! Quick!
To the roof.
What's happened? The whispering shadows.
God. Ah! Ah!
Oh!
Or is this basically literal cliffhanger? No shit. Oh no, a plane hanger. Oh my God. Whoa! Uh-oh. Oh no! Ah! Oh wow. The collapsing room. Wow, well, that was the Whispering Shadow. Master Magician, what do we think, Evan?
This is pretty exciting so far. We've got they're not quite a cliffhanger, but they're hanging from some wires.
Yeah, I mean
a wire hanger.
A wire hanger
around here somewhere.
Plain wire hanger. Yeah, I think that's what we've got, to be very specific about it. Yeah, the one thing I will say there, we kind of lose Lugosi at a certain point. Like he and that guy were like having a standoff, and the other dudes jumped out from behind the jewel thief, like grabbed him. And we kind of lost Lugosi, didn't we?
Maybe. I thought he was running.
Was he running? I'm not sure.
We might have to wait until the clip show.
The first clip show. Yeah, I'm sure that
we're already behind.
Yeah, I'm sure that they will fill us in on that, because I was some spit went down the wrong throat. Excuse me. Need a little mute button there. Whoo. Okay. I'll just get my composure. I'm like, all right, there it is. Yeah, I did just kind of lose track of Lugosi there, so that was a little.
Yeah, I'm going back through. I think we did lose him. He was there in the room staring off with the guy, and I think that's the last we saw of him.
Yeah, I mean, he's in that costume. He stood out. I mean,
yeah, it's kind of hard to miss.
Yeah, kind of hard to miss. So I was looking for him, but I didn't think I saw him. So, and we will see just where he ended up next chapter. Collapsing rooms, was that what it said? I believe that was what it said.
Yeah, collapsing room.
So yeah, so
do we want to talk about our list of suspects?
Yeah, I mean, so far it's already pretty big. Like, there's at least
we've got a few characters so far.
Yeah, I mean, you've got I mean, obviously you got Lugosi's Professor Strang.
Seems pretty suspicious. This like the whole thing with the wax museum seems. I mean, it's just kind of suspect.
Yeah, well, it's a front.
Why?
All wax
Why
museums are fronts. That's what
Right,
I've learned already from the first chapter of this.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's a very well disguised front because it just seems like he's got a bunch of people pretending to be wax dolls and he's instructed them to like whack people as they walk by. Is that the attraction?
I guess so, like an interactive wax museum. It's just you
Yeah.
just like, you know, I guess if you're the audience, you're just kind of there's a little bit of you know, you're just suspending your disbelief. Like even though you can tell these are just people, they're just obviously not made of wax. You're like, you know what? I'll believe they're wax figures.
Maybe he misunderstood what a wax museum is supposed to be. You know, it's a wax museum. You get whacked.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, obviously,
You
I
get
mean,
a lot of wax.
English wasn't Lugosi's first language, so you know, or I'm sure Professor Strang, so not quite filled in on the vernacular.
Yeah,
that's what you get. That's what you get.
A country, maybe to steal some jewels.
Yep. Obviously, the man
front of a business.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of plot going on in these serials. There always is, but you know, you gotta love Lugosi's whole character like setup. Pretty ridiculous. But yeah, so we have Professor Strang. We have Steinbeck.
We've got a detective, but I don't know if he really counts as a suspect.
Yeah, I wouldn't call the detective
really going for a twist.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him a suspect.
His name's fun to say though. Robert Raymond.
Yeah, that was good. Really good one. Was it Lugosi that said that? Yeah, that was amazing.
He really put that pepper on it.
He really did. That's what I'm loving. Every once in a while, each actor has some word or phrase that they decide to just put a little bit of spice on, a little bit of something different that makes it fun. Yeah, and then you
got the jewel thief.
Yeah.
But I'd say I don't know how he's like being the Whispering Shadow if he was just in jail.
Yeah, I don't think it was the you've got the other guys that work for this radio company.
Yeah. What's the one guy working on? He's got some kind of death ray.
It looks like a death ray with all those lights and this whole cylinder shape of it. It definitely looks like
that feels a little suspect.
Yeah, and I believe that character's name is Steinbeck. So Steinbeck is certainly someone to have on the list of suspects. And I don't know what the guy who is the like head of the company or the one guy who's like, I've been in radio for years, but like he's definitely
vice president.
Yeah, vice president. He's definitely a suspect. You maybe could suspect the other guy who's like a boss, but he, you know, he seemed very unassuming. So maybe that's exactly why you should suspect him. But if you're looking for suspicious,
in the same vein, maybe the dopey radio operator.
He's just putting on an act. Could be. It's who you least suspect, right?
Yeah,
that's right. Obviously, it's not going to be your suspicious suspects. I mean, hey, we're only one chapter in. We've already got a whole lineup. So we've got plenty of time to parse through this and figure out just you know, who we want to nab as the suspect for the you know, the courts get involved, but we've got to let this investigation take its course. So we've got 11 more chapters to do it. So yeah, that was good. That was a good first chapter. So you'll be able to catch the second installment of the Whispering Shadow.
I'm intrigued.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, it is. It's definitely. It's got me hooked. It's got me hooked. I'm want to know what happens next, but we'll see. It's let's see. I think, yeah, it's definitely 12 chapters. Some of these, like, sometimes they go up to 13 chapters, like sometimes they're only 10. But I believe this is 12, so I'll have 11 more. So you can catch the next one next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Of course, we're gonna be back for our Friday night features this Friday, kicking off season 8 with one of my personal favorites. I always like to start a season.
It's a doozy.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I always like to start a season with like a movie that has had made a particular impression on me at a young age, or that at some point at a young age that I was obsessed with. And Friday's movie definitely fits the bill. This Friday, we are going to be watching Plan 9 from Outer Space. And 1957, 59, there's different dates on it. You can give it if you want. Directed by the worst director of all time, Edward D. Wood Jr. Of course, he's not the worst director of all time. His movies are not the worst films of all time, but he kind of got this cult following and this cult fandom. And we have already seen one Lugosi movie on the show. We watched Bride of the Monster 3 seasons ago. I think it was our finale 3 seasons ago. And because we always end the season on a Lugosi movie. So I was a little conflicted about this because I am kind of getting a little slim on like movies that really made an impression on me to put up front. And I was like, oh, this would be perfect. And I was like, oh, well, it's got Lugosi in it. And then I was like, oh, but does it though? Not really. You can't really.
That's fair.
I don't think you can really call it a Lugosi movie. So it made me feel better.
He's in it,
But there's a big but. That made me feel better about showing it, kicking off a season, and not feeling like I'm burning here's a quintessential Lugosi movie, because it's really not. Like, yes, you will see Lugosi in it, but like he's not doing any of like the main plot, really. Like it's if you haven't seen it, you've got to check it out. It is with us this Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It is gonna be out of this world. You know what else is gonna be out of this world? The cocktail that Evan's going to be bringing us this Friday to pair with the evening's film in a little segment which we call
What Were You Drinking?
What are we going to be drinking on Friday, Evan?
So this Friday, we are kicking off the season with a pretty delicious sounding one. This is a cocktail that will make a lot of sense once we see. Plan 9 from Outer Space sounds like a sci-fi movie, and it is, but we've got some corpse action. So we're drinking the Corpse Reviver. This is the Corpse Reviver #1 from Outer Space. So this is kind of a little variation on a drink that has a lot of variations. And as we've learned the last time that we had an Ed Wood movie, Ed Wood was very partial to a particular kind of drink, the vodka gimlet.
That's
remember, dear viewers. And it's vodka and lime juice. He loved them.
That's
And
right.
so we're taking the vodka gimlet and we're jamming it all up into the Corpse Reviver
Oh,
#1.
that's a
Yeah.
beautiful little tribute to Ed Wood. I didn't catch that. That is
Yeah, it's kind of hidden in the recipe.
That's really sweet. I like that a whole lot. That's a great way. Yeah. Now, we didn't drink a vodka gimlet with the movie, did we?
One at some
I feel like we did
point.
one. We did, didn't we?
It was for Ed Wood, and I
Then it
think
had to have been for
it must have been for Bride.
It had to have been for Bride, but I definitely feel like I also remember a time where we were questioning just what a vodka gimlet was.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I think that's probably what led me down that road.
Right.
To begin with.
Yeah. What the hell is a vodka gimlet? Yeah. So
and if you're if you're wondering, I guess I already said it's vodka and lime juice.
Right.
But the drink, if you want to gather the ingredients and play along at home, you can make the Corpse Reviver #1 from outer space with 2 parts vodka, 1 part apple brandy, 1 part sweet vermouth, and 1 part lime juice.
Sounds
so we've
delicious.
Should be nice and sweet. Got a little bit of tart from the lime juice. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, no, this will be a good one, and I'm sure you'll have a lot of facts and information for us about this cocktail. Like I didn't know that the Corpse Reviver is a kind of whole group.
It's kind of a whole thing.
It's a whole group of cocktail I didn't know about till I saw the Wikipedia page for it today.
Yeah, it's less of a drink and more of a family of drinks.
Less of a drink and more of an idea drink. A concept, if you will. Yeah, so that's gonna be great. Of course, that movie's gonna be great. We're gonna have a lot of fun with it. So and if you want that recipe, if you don't feel like rewinding this episode to find out, you can go find that full recipe over on our Instagram page. We're over there at Screamstream Show. We're also over on X and TikTok at Screamstream Show. Of course, we're here on YouTube at Screamstream Live. You want to catch up on any of our past episodes, always want to stay in the loop about what we're going to be watching, all that good stuff. You can find it over here. So please, subscribe, check out what we got. And we've almost got 200 videos on the channel. So there's no shortage of things for you to check out. And so, and of course, if you haven't seen Bride of the Monster, I highly recommend that you do before.
It's a wild movie.
It is wild. It is a lot of fun. It is that is truly a Bela Lugosi Ed Wood movie. The one we're gonna be watching on Friday, not so much, but we're gonna be talking about Bride of the Monster in relation to Plan 9 a lot. I know. So if you want to go back and check out our past episode, we did that a few seasons ago, so you can go find that on the YouTube page. Again, Screamstream Live. You can find me over on X at Spakenstein. Of course, Mr. Evan Sink is over on X and Instagram at Caligari Cursed. Thanks everybody so much for tuning in tonight. It's been a great way to kick off these mini-sodes for season 8, and we've got 11 more chapters. So I hope you guys are ready for week after week of mystery. I know I am. But anything before we sign off tonight, Evan?
If you want my prediction for who the Whispering Shadow is, I've got to say it's whoever the first character we saw is.
Touche. We gotta go off Scooby-Doo rules. How could we have been so blind? This is a mystery after all. Okay. Well, again, hopefully first clip show just picks up, gives us the answer right away. Where fingers are crossed. Well, until Friday. Sweet screams, everybody.
And to all, a good fright.